My dear God's people, it is the 14th ordinary Sunday of the year C. Last Sunday we reflected upon the demands and challenges of discipleship. This Sunday too we have the topic of discipleship. In a sense, more on the mission of the disciples. And therefore, I will restrict myself solely to the gospel passage, excluding the first and the second reading. Who is a disciple of Jesus Christ? He is the one who believes in Jesus Christ and accepts Him as his master and follows Him through self-denial, and who is ready to take up all the challenges on the way towards the goal of the master. From many disciples of Jesus Christ, He chose very specially 12. They are a special lot, a privileged group. They are called the apostles, the closest associates of Jesus Christ. He sent them on a mission. In a similar way, in today's gospel passage, that is from Luke chapter 10, we see Jesus extending His mission by commissioning another 70 more disciples, saying, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, ask the Lord of the harvest for laborers into His harvest. Go on your way. Remember, I send you out like lambs into the midst of wolves." And Jesus gives several other instructions to His disciples before sending. In the second part of the passage, the disciples return after fulfilling the mission. Today we shall reflect upon two imageries from the gospel passage and try to understand what they indicate and teach us. The first imagery, that is of the harvest. Jesus, by using the imagery of harvest, locates the mission of the 70 disciples within the eschatological setting. That is, Jesus brings the mission of the 70 disciples in the context of the last or the end days, which introduces a sense of great urgency. Why this urgency? We shall see little ahead. The harvest time has come, and the laborers have a very limited time to gather in the crop before it spoils. And since the harvest is very large, very great, there is a very critical need for the Lord of the harvest to send more laborers into the field. This eschatological urgency is also shown further in the account where Jesus' instructions imply that there is no much time for the disciples to gather provisions for the way, and that they will have no much time to socialize on their way to the missions. The reason for this urgency is the announcement that the kingdom of God has come near. Now, at this very crucial and important moment, those who reject the emissaries of Jesus and those who do not respond adequately to the kingdom of God, they will bring upon themselves harsh judgment. Jesus says, "It shall be more tolerable on that day for Sodom, that wicked city, than for the city that rejects the kingdom of God." So, my dear people of God, this first point cautions us and invites us to be receptive to the messengers of Jesus Christ and their message of the kingdom of God. The second imagery, and that is of sheep and wolves. By the use of the imagery of sheep amidst the wolves, we get the themes of danger and divine protection. Jesus was aware that his disciples would face fierce resistance. There would be dangers of division. There would be a divided response at the arrival of the kingdom of God. Some would accept and some would reject the message of the kingdom of God. And those who reject may even become a threat to the life of the disciples. And therefore, since there is danger, Jesus also promises implicitly divine protection. Sheep, they are the animals who are defenseless. And Jesus is sending his disciples like defenseless sheep amidst the wolves. The imagery of a shepherd is not there in today's passage, but it implies that in their defenselessness, there would be divine protection. Jesus would never abandon his disciples amidst the wolves. The authority given to them by Jesus also would protect them from all the dangers of the mission and from the evil powers of the enemy, the Satan, whose final defeat is assured, and that would be a reason of great joy for the disciples. And that's what we see in the other part of the gospel passage. In the return of the 70 disciples, they come back very happily and they share with Jesus their experiences, how they have been victorious over the dangers, over evil spirits. That is the result of God's providence and God's protection. So, my dear people of God, the second point invites us to be courageous disciples of Jesus Christ, to move ahead to preach the kingdom of God by trusting solely in the divine protection. May these two imageries help us to be receptive to the kingdom of God and also to be courageous disciples amidst dangers. May God bless each one of you.